Here in the Superteams competition, which is tied now at 2 events apiece between the Cardinals and the Redskins. A tornado watch is in effect, and heavy winds and rain are coming down right at the moment. The organizers of the event have decided to go ahead with the competition, originally scheduled for the beach in front of the Sonesta Beach Hotel, but it's been moved to Marine Stadium. There will be 8 rowers in each boat. As we look at the Cardinals boat, there is 1 steersman, and because of the weather conditions, there will be an expert boatsman allowed to occupy each boat. For the Cardinals, they'll have Buzz Tripp with them, and their steersman will be their team captain, Darrell Porter. For the Redskins, the steersman, Big Dave Butts, and I'm sure he coerced the other 8 Redskins to get into that boat in this kind of condition. Their expert boatsman will be Alan Sturman. The course is 400 yards in length. They'll go up and around a buoy twice to the finish line. Reggie, Richard, I don't think either one of you would get in those boats.
You certainly got that right for me, Frank. Inclement weather, just not my style.
They don't play baseball in the weather, do they, Reggie?
Absolutely not. How about the football players, Rich?
Well, the football players practiced for about 2 hours yesterday, and they really worked at it hard, and they seemed like they had it down. They're going to give it a good shot.
The Cardinals didn't do that much, Frank, but really yesterday it was 75 degrees. The waters were nice and calm. Look at today. It's a completely different story.
You know, I think the key thing is getting those oars together, and both of them have got that down pretty good, but maybe the most important factor in this lifeboat race is when they get to that buoy to come around it very tight, because these boats are big, they're heavy, they're not very maneuverable, and coming up will be one of the keys to this entire race. It'll be the first turn. And right now, the Redskins have just a slight lead. They're getting help from their expert boatsman, Alan Sturman. They're coming up on that buoy, and I think you'll see that's George Stark. He has the black jersey on. Now, he is going to get up, turn around, and now he will back row. That will help Big Dave Butts in the rear of the boat bring the boat tight around the buoy. Let's see if it works.
No, they talked about in practice how they were going to do that kind of a thing and to help negotiate the turn. But we'll see how the baseball players do with their strategy.
They're doing exactly the same thing, and they have got around the buoy in great shape, and we are just about dead even. Both boats now coming back to the dock, where they'll go around another buoy and then head out and back one more time. Look at that rain pelt down. It's cold in those boats.
Well, I tell you, the baseball players coming around the buoy is just like going around second base. They should have a better feel for what's going on.
You hedged it a little there, Richard?
Yes.
Come on now. Come on now. Those big, strong football players, the finesse of the baseball players.
And now they get Alan Sturman, their expert boatsman. He moves to the back of the boat where he can talk directly right to the Redskins. They still have a little bit of a lead.
They still have a nice, good, even stroke there, the football players do.
Key point again. This will be a turn around the buoy, and the Redskins are going wide, and the Cardinals are staying in tight.
Frank, you know, it looks like the football players are faster, but they're losing it at the turns.
Well, that's bigger. Baseball players, a little better strategy, a little more finesse. And, you know, Richard, you don't have to, forget that I'm around. You can address me. You don't have to say, when you guys aren't doing well, you can say that we're doing okay as baseball players.
Gentlemen, now, once again, we're watching the Redskins. They have the speed. They have the strength. They just do not have the finesse in the turns. They go out one more time, just about 100 yards. They make one more turn, then they come back to the finish line. Let's see what happens.
You know, I'm quite impressed, Frank and Richard, that the football players are keeping their boat nice and straight with all that current, with all the inclement weather here. They're really doing a pretty good job. I hope they don't make too good a turns, that's for sure.
And they're using their speed to pull ahead of the Cardinals, but again, they have that turn coming up. What do you think, Richard? They're going to make it?
Well, if they can make a good turn here, they'll have a great chance to win because they can outlast them down the stretch. But they have to make the turn.
Key moment, and they look like they're heading for Africa.
I think a lot of the fellows here, they're only doing 4 laps, but I'm sure they feel like it's about 4 miles.
Well, I know if I was in that boat, I'd want to get out with the weather. I'd just jump on the boat with a life jacket.
They went way wide, and the Cardinals, meanwhile, are in very tight. The Cardinals are going to come out of this turn with a commanding lead.
Again, it's nice rhythm, good continuity with the strokes of the oars, and the Cardinals have a real good chance right now. In fact, they're in the lead right now, Frank.
They've taken the lead. The Redskins are trying to come back, but the Cardinals have the lead. And we have a race now to the finish line. Keep in mind, the Redskins are faster. But the Cardinals came out of that final turn with a little bit of a lead. About 50 yards to go. And amazing, there are some people stopped along the highway. They walked over to watch this. They must think they're a bunch of insane people out here in this kind of weather. Look at the Cardinals come. It's going to be close. They're counting off the strokes. A few more yards. The Redskins are coming back, but the Cardinals will take the lifeboat race. And after being down 2 events to none, all of a sudden the Cardinals are up on top. They have won 3 events in a row. They lead 3-2 in the overall competition. Here they come into the docks, and I think they're just delighted to be out of the water, as delighted as they are with their victory. These boats weigh 2,000 pounds. They're 30 feet in length, and where the Cardinals won the competition, Richard, was really in the turns. And let's take a look at it. These are the Redskins. Now, they went so far wide.
Well, it looks like the football players are much stronger, they're faster, but they lack the finesse for the turns that the baseball players have, and that's where they got beat.
Big Dave Butt's doing all that he can do, but here you have seen them go so far out you do not even see the buoy. Meanwhile, the Cardinals very exact in their turns. They won it right here. The Cardinals are the victors in the lifeboat race, and Reggie's with them.
You fellas have now won 3 events in a row, and you're starting to come on strong. Started out 2 down, 2-0, and you're coming back strong. What do you think, Mike?
Well, I don't know. I'd say that stuff looks easy on TV, but it ain't that easy. And, you know, I'm just glad we're up right now 3-2 and try to get them in the next event.
Obi, we started the course here. It was rough water, bad weather. You guys think about what you were going to do. You hadn't really practiced that much, and it looks like the Redskins had strength and everything else over you.
We tried to just stay in a rhythm and try to beat them on the turns, and I think that was the big key for us was the turns, and I think that's where we beat them at.
No, Darrell, it looked like you did have some different strategy on your turns. You were making wide turns, and the second time you made the wide turn down at the end, you did beat him in the stretch. Did you have any thoughts on your turn?
Yeah, we wanted on the wind side, the high side, we wanted to stay out quite a ways from the buoy and then kind of work our way in. And on this side, we wanted to try to come down and stay as close to this buoy as we could and cut it short back into the wind. But we wouldn't have done so well, but we was fortunate the weather being like it was. We got to have our crew chief in the boat with us, and he helped us out a lot.
Well, nice going.
Thank you.
The Cardinals with a genuine tribute to their crew chief, Buzz Tripp, who came all the way from Key West to help out. So, after 5 events, the Cardinals are on top 3-2. If they can win the water relay race, they will lock up the overall competition.